Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. Okay, I hope you all are doing well. If you're listening to this and you're wearing a blue, then I know exactly how you feel. You feel robbed, you feel insulted, you feel lied to. Okay, and today we are not analyzing a match. All right, today we're analyzing the propaganda machine that is actively trying to gaslight us into accepting mediocrity. We've endured 4 years of this so-called project. 4 years of spending that defies historical comparisons. We are talking over £2 billion, and yet, where are we? We are far from the summit. And when we look for clarity, we don't get it from the boardroom. We get it filtered through the mouth of journalists like David Ornstein and Sky Kaveh. Okay, who seem more interested in reading the official press release than reflecting the reality felt in the stands. Today, we are going to rip that narrative apart, and that narrative of patience, the narrative of long-term vision, because patience, my friend, is just the cushion they use to hide the constant catastrophic failure that we have been seeing in Chelsea for nearly 5 years now. Okay, and let's just dive into it. Now, let's start with the latest wave of soothing nonsense because Kaveh Seoko, tells us the owner feels no pressure. None, actually. Okay, they have a long-term plan, he claims, and to win the Premier League and the Champions League in a few years is their long-term plan. Now, a few years, let me remind you, Kaveh, yeah, and everyone that is in that executive suite. What Chelsea was before they arrived. We were not a club aspiring to finish top four. We were a club expected to win everything and every single year. We were an instant success. We were the standard set by Roman Abramovich. Okay, we didn't ask for 5 years. It demanded dominance now. And yes, the rules might have changed. Okay, we acknowledge the financial regulations, but that's their excuse. Okay, but it's no longer going to be a shield against accountability. Kaveh parrots the line. Yeah, you have to trust us. This is a new way, whether we like it or not. A new way that has seen us cycle through managers, destabilize the dressing room, and deliver performances that suggested half the squad have no idea what the badge means. He says fans aren't used to this. Of course, you're damn right, we're not used to such. We are not used to it. We are Chelsea. We were built on backbones. We were built with steel. We were built like steel and immediate results. And then you sell us some BS project that's making us look like a mid-table aspiration club that collects expensive data points and not trophies. Then we get David Ornstein on the other side of the Atlantic, assuring us that Chelsea is in a better shape now and do not intend to sell any of their key players. Please, can someone explain to me what it means by better shape? Okay, you tell that to the accountants who posted the highest pre-tax loss in English football history, a £355 million black hole for the year 2024/2025. I don't know what that means, but to me, that doesn't look better shape. That's not better shape to me. That's financial wreckage being carefully obscured by accounting maneuvers. I'm sorry, but when journalists of Ornstein standings, okay, become cheerleaders for the ownership's internal narrative without robust, okay, critical pushbacks on the result, they stop being reporters and start being PR assistants. I'm profoundly disappointed in David Ornstein because you know better. You know this £2 billion was supposed to yield immediate tangible success, not an academic exercise in amortization. Let's even drill down on this £2 billion spent. What did he buy us? He bought us a squad that leaks like a sieve defensively. It brought us inconsistency so severe that we struggle against teams missing half their starters. Teams like Newcastle, who came to the bridge and beat us with half their team absent due to injury. In 14 years, they have not done that until the weekend. It brought us the illusion of long-term security tied up in endless contracts. The sources Ornstein quotes insist they don't need to sell key players because they are confident they are compliant with UEFA rules, citing those one-off write-offs and asset sales. I mean, the hotels, the women's teams transfer deals that are critically not repeatable. I don't know what this is, but this is not management for me. Okay, this is a creative bookkeeping to mask catastrophic operational failures. We are running a wage to revenue ratio that is far too high, and we are relying solely on player trading now. We are essentially becoming a luxury asset flipping platform. Precisely what the fan protested against. We are sacrificing present competitiveness for potential future profit on ledger that seems designed to confuse regulations or regulators. If you're so financially robust, and this is directed to David Ornstein, why are we getting reports that Enzo Fernandez, one of the few elite talents we actually possess, is looking for the exit door this summer? Because I don't care if you're going to say it's just rumor and no one should pay attention to it. There is no smoke without fire, if that's the right way to put it. Okay, and that's reality check for you. You cannot hand Reece James an 8-year deal. Okay, you can hand Reece James an 8-year deal. Same with his sister. Okay, you can tie down Palmer and Caicedo until 2030. But if the sporting project fails like it's failing, it's not even it's failing, it's failed. We're supposed to judge you guys over a 4 transfer window, and we are over 9. That's the ultimate indictment of this entire structure. The talent they secured is already looking for a way out. Because the backbone is missing. Although David Ornstein is right about one thing. Chelsea have built a core. James, Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. These are the foundations. But a foundation is useless if the house built upon it keeps collapsing mid-season. The £2 billion we spend, if we had bought players like Osimhen, we had spent maybe another 100 million on someone like Rodrigo or Kenan Yildiz or even Morgan Rogers. I think that the left wing side would have been secured. If we had spent another 100 million, but I mean, the way it's criminal, it's a war crime, the way we spent the £2 billion, and this is what we have to show for it. And then some reporter is putting this out saying that we are in a better shape. How in the blue hell do we look like, or are we looking like we're in a better shape? What does that even mean? What does better shape even mean? I do not even understand anymore. What does that even mean? We keep playing without cohesion. We leak goals constantly, like one pass threading through the team like a hot knife cutting through a butter. We lack focal point striker. What we got is Liam Delap, who scored one goal in 29 Premier League in 20. My good God, I'm ashamed to even say this. How are we in a better shape? Our midfield, despite the massive investment in Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Dario Sugo, Moises Caicedo, Andre Santos, we still lack the mental steel to see out results. We are assembling an elite roster piece by piece, okay, but we are failing to assemble an elite team. And this brings me, okay, to the absolute cliff edge, the Champions League. Okay, forget the prestige. This is the lifeblood of the modern football elite club. Okay, especially one operating under this pending restraint. The data shows missing the Champions League will cost us over £100 million in lost revenue instantly. What does that mean for the long-term plan? It means that the plan turns toxic overnight. Missing out on Champions League means FFP gap widens instantly. If we miss the revenue target, the settlement agreement with UEFA tightens even more. That means fewer registrations, stricter spending caps, and ultimately the forced sale of those players, those very players, Ornstein claims they won't sell. This isn't a few years of patience. This is a looming financial guillotine based on short-term failures. They have gambled our immediate competitive status on long-term amortization schedule. And now the lack of immediate results threatens to even trigger the collapse of the entire edifice. They've spent £2 billion to become financially vulnerable and competitively stagnant. How is that the new way? How are we as fans supposed to fall in line and accept this? It's painful to even be a Chelsea fan, but we are Chelsea through and through, and that's why we are still here. We are being asked to watch our club's identity, the hard-nosed, demanding winning identity, that be scrubbed away and replaced by this passive corporate spreadsheet approach. And every time we show up at Stamford Bridge, every time we buy a replica shirt, every time we stream the game, we validate their decisions. We've seen fans group organize protests against the structure, against the sporting directors, demanding accountability for these failures to build a team with a backbone. But the owners are not feeling the pressure. Then we need to change the message. It means our message is not even making wave or landing. We must unify, okay? And that's why I am in support of the protest that is coming. The only issue that I have with this protest is, why are we not taking actions immediately? Why do we have to wait another week or more? Every minute spent is time gone. That time we do not even have on our side anymore. We need to speak with one voice, loud enough to shatter the bubbles these executives live in. If the only currency they understand is financial impact, then perhaps we need to actually withdraw that currency. The suggestion that fans need to stay away, even though it's painful, okay? Even though it's fundamentally against our nature, okay, is becoming the only logical final steps, okay, when loyalty is being mistaken for guaranteed revenue. No matter how poor the product might be, okay, we demand standard, we demand urgency, and we demand a sporting strategy that prioritizing winning trophies now while building for the future. Okay, not the other way around. Kaveh and Ornstein and a lot of you can talk about the long-term game all they want. Okay, but for those of us who lived through the era where Chelsea were feared, where Chelsea was a force to reckon with, where teams like Barcelona, teams like Madrid, teams like Manchester United, Liverpool, and the likes hated playing against. The game started on the final whistle, and patience ran out of the patience that is so talked about. Okay, we've run out of it. We do not have patience anymore. Okay, we're 9 transfer windows into the blue core and clearly capital era, and this is a shit show that we are being served. Okay, this is no longer a project. This is a failed project already. This is a dismantling, and we the supporters must fight to save the soul of Chelsea Football Club before this regime successfully amortizes us into oblivion. Because it's crazy. It's crazy, like really, really crazy. Let me know what you guys think about everything that I've said. I really want to hear from you guys on all that I've said. And don't forget to like this video and share this video, and most importantly, turn on your notification bell, because I'm going to be putting out my lineup and my predicted lineup for the game against PSG as we take on PSG at Stamford Bridge tomorrow night. If there's any other thing that comes up between now and then, I'll be here to share with you guys. Until then, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.